because nothing is more powerful than pure source information, pure source energy. And once you obtain it, you cannot unsee what you have already seen. That power is second to none. So when someone goes, hey, look, we've got quantum physics, it's a computer, it's the internet, it's a cell phone. These are all, archaic. Let it echo, limitless, timeless, endless, abundant. The name that cannot be named. Realize right here, right now. Welcome to the Consciousness of the Way, my divine, delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh. Shameless plug on the Sleep Frequencies of the Way channel. That is the absolutely divine, suckle sweet sounds of the shakuhachi. Origin, not questionable, but known, originally from China. But we can go over that all day long. Alas, I regress. And I'm your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn. Well, what do we have here? My Greek goddess.
Oh yeah, I was feeling very, very jade inspired.
Yes, you were. A different type of jade, not something from your Eastern roots, but something a little bit more mythical, perhaps.
Mystical.
Mystical, mythical, metaphysical, magical. All of the above and some. Well, we're back here again. What an amazing time. We've had some incredible guests this week. Everything is just echoing.
And more
gratitude.
to come.
Pardon me?
I said, and more to come.
And we're shooting out some incredible material coming up, as always. And the guests are just like something to be very grateful for. And we are extremely grateful. And this inner working that is humanness, the human being. Moreover, every time I mention that, I get a variation of different types of responses, but it reminds me more of the fear that's evoked within the individual. Depending upon what you believe in, they'll go down a certain path of dialogue through their own communications within the interweb, social media, within our landscape of the Way 126 experience. Something along the lines of, there's only one God! And so...
The inside joke of inside jokes.
The inside joke of inside jokes. And so when we reference humanness, we talk about understanding how powerful this tool is. And everything is in its perfect place as a incredible creation of the Tao, we have this human body that is this tuning fork that's realized in flesh and blood, moreover. And as eternal, immortal spirits, we use that as an anchor to this realm, within this reincarnation, to realize where we're at on our level of consciousness in this journey. And so, we move forward into a new age, 21st century, and we look at, guess what? What's the most powerful high-tech tool that's on the market right now? I'm thinking maybe some type of like computer processor, AI perhaps, or no, it's actually, you're in possession of it right now. If you're witnessing this podcast, then you are in possession of the most high-tech tool known to man. The humanist that is the human being, that is the body, the flesh and blood that you have realized as your holograph of wave to matter to particle, your realization, your visual representation, which some people would call an avatar. This is it, realized right now. So we've got something even greater and not even close to understanding the power of it.
Mm-mm.
So people, Jade and I always reference the ancient tools and practices that we teach people, because Taoists are second to none when it comes to energetics, when it comes to mastering the energy. And that's our affinity, our relationship over at least, acknowledging at least the last 10,000 years. And so that realization comes forth a deeper understanding where people are attempting to decide what's what. So, probably around the early 2000s, there was a greater discovery from a scientific perspective that this intricate neural network that's within the physical body, and they're sort of creating parallels. So we've been doing this thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. And so we have this intricate network that works inside the physical body, that is the energetic body, that then realizes the spiritual body. It sort of goes in that order when we're looking at elevating the frequency, elevating the consciousness so that you're able to realize the evidence of that spiritual body. So you can draw reference to many things on the internet, and especially moreover within our channel, where we have absolute instruments and exercises that you can follow that will help you realize that very truth. And so we always talk about the truth as you know it. Well, that always comes back to the truth teller, which we constantly refer to, which a Taoist would call their middle dantian, or a Hindu would call it their fourth chakra, or you would come to that realization that there is something greater there on an energetic level. Now, the middle dantian consists of an infrastructure of highly powerful grids that are realized within this architecture. And, when we talk about 81 chambers, we talk about the infinite possibilities of those 81 chambers. And so these grids are realized. And, I hear a lot more of, geometry And we lean on numbers, words, symbols, sacred, infinite flower with a sacred garden. Now, on a much more of a rippling effect, you could parallel that with other principles in the nature of physics per se, numbers, binary code, crunching of numbers, coming to that sacred geometry that a lot of people reference. There's a very interesting thing that takes place when you're exposed to something, and Jade and I reference it all the time, which is once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So that power comes within the neural network of your body. Please
Oh yeah.
share.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like that thing where like your kids find out if Santa's real or not, and you kind of can't go back from there. I mean, you can, but depending on what it is. But yeah, it is. It's kind of like, once you turn it on and you feel it, you can't kind of go back to. I never want to know what ice cream tastes like, but I've already tasted it.
Right.
It's like
right. And I mean, that can go both ways, because we always talk about the truth is only what you believe. The only truth you need to be concerned with, your truth. And we speak on that because, the power of this rippling effect that is realized within the energetics. Last podcast we spoke on the power of genetics, the DNA, the RNA, the stem cell, the rippling effects that take place. What is the factor that realizes this, epigenetic model? The genome, which was discovered back many decades ago, the DNA, the double helix that was created or realized when we look deeper into the human being. And I mean, this is literally within less than 100 years we have come so far in understanding humanness.
yeah.
And so, but do you think that's just a drop in the ocean? Absolutely. I mean, if you have ancient, indigenous rituals that lean on and have symbols of things that are greater and that are more realized within sort of Hollywood movies today, and we're referencing to some other being within the same universe that we're in. Of course, there's plenty of them. I deal with, spirits, energies, frequencies, day in, day out, and they're an infinite amount. But, I mean, strangely enough, it depends on the path you're walking on. But, the realization of something greater out there, and that we are neighbors with other things is becoming more evident.
Well, you just think of like the idea of like medieval like dragons or something like that.
100%.
And it's right. And people, I mean, that even dinosaurs, I mean, I know we have like dinosaur bones and stuff, but I mean, no human was physically, that they know of, was physically there when dinosaurs were alive. It's like we're just putting these little pieces together of what we think they would have looked like, they would have done, they would have all, and add it all together. And it's like, that's only what we know. Imagine what we don't know.
Right. What hasn't been discovered. And so, we have these ancient practices. For Taoists, it's a culmination of three major energy centers: upper, middle, and lower dantian, sun, earth, and moon. And so the intricate, grids and architecture of each dantian, consisting of 81 chambers within each dantian, house a frequency, a color, and these are also realized with other much more intricate detail in relation to energetics. So we have a a deeper housing in relation to the architecture of the energetic body. And that has completely works in concert with the physical body. And so, over the last 20 years, people have sort of discovered in more detail through prodding and probing indigenous practices that they've discovered this inner workings that Taoists have been familiar with for thousands of years. I can't speak for other indigenous rituals, but let's just say Buddhists also. Let's just say Hindus also. Let's just say that the Native American Indians. I mean, we can just go on and on and on. But it's understanding how you realize that energetic component, because we will stress to you over and over and over and over again, the most important thing is you must feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you feel it, it becomes realized. And we're not just saying this from an anecdotal level, hypotheses, theory, book read. No, we're talking about realized experiences. And so that validator of the feeling is what makes it real to you. And that's why we keep going over it. The truth is only what you believe. Your truth is the only truth you need to be concerned with. A blammo. When that is realized, all bets are off. And so the discovery more recently in the last 20 years of this intricate neural network, which sort of answers a lot of questions for many, not for Taoists, because we've already been aware of this, but hey, you're a little bit later to the party. I'm excited for you. So, you want to synchronize all three of these dantians. And it's like a Shazam moment. If anyone's ever seen the TV show, the animation Shazam, I mean, you may not realize that you've been operating with it in your peripheral. You may have heard about it, past or present. This all leans on the understanding of this neural network, because you don't have to have it realized consciously for you to absorb this information. This is the thing that we need to get you to understand. And so I talk about Shazam, and most people are like, Shazam, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I remember it as a child, in the 70s and 80s, and it probably was something that trickled over from the 50s or 60s. But it was just this realized superhero. You have the lightning bolt on his chest like Superman with the emblem. You have a red, unitard or whatever it is with the yellow cape running around. And the premise behind Shazam was this. He had one ring that was half a ring on one finger and one ring that was half a ring on another. And it was either he would put the two rings together to create the Shazam effect, or it was him and someone else. I mean, don't quote me on this, but the premise is quite simple. Half and half. Bam. That becomes a whole. And this is the premise and understanding of this synchronicity that we talk about. Synchronizing the three dantians. And it goes in an order of effect of how powerful they are. So now we lean back to this discovery in the last 20 years of the neural network. And so for a Taoist, it's synchronizing the heart, which is the middle dantian, with the brain, which is the upper dantian. And then the realized effect of that is the lower dantian. Okay? And so on a more deeper level of neurology, you're synchronizing the sensory neurons within the heart, which is sending mimicking a frequency, a coherent frequency that is realized within the brain using its mirror neurons. And by that mirroring effect is rippling that signal down into the gut, which is then realized where you go, aha, oh my goodness, the gut feeling, whoa. Yeah. That's how it starts, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. And so this is some new whoa discovery, and it's conceptual for most people until it's not. And that's why we were stuck. You can't unsee what you've already seen. And so this whole anatomy, this neurology, understanding, we always talk about, if you lean on physiology, if you lean on neurology, if you lean on psychology, if you lean on biology, you are limited in your very understanding of your realization of what the truth is. Because we've just got started. Look, people are late to the game on this one. Anything you read in a book or is realized within high tech is already behind the 8 ball. These are ancient practices. We've been using them for thousands and thousands of years. You just have someone that's poked and prodded to a degree that they believe that they have the secret sauce. Because none of this means anything unless it's true to you. So, the mimicking effect of the mirror neuron phenomenon is that your ability to synchronize. So, whenever you've been a part of this channel, witnessing anything that has been created exercise-wise between Jade and I and the audience, is our ability to trigger an energy, frequency, and vibration that has a rippling effect instantaneously being realized by you, the audience, and you're able to sample and feel this experience instantaneously. Now, understanding that consciousness is everything, the interconnection of you, me, and Jade, or you, Jade, and myself, is really, moreover, the greater magnitude and picture of what's going on here. It's not so much the synchronization of this, very basic fundamental understanding of the rippling effects of mirror neurons, but on a greater level, being interconnected to this 0 point energy is when that's go time. That's the real stuff.
I was going to say, how does someone know when they're coherent or when they're synchronized versus, just thinking it? Are they, what do they experience where they go like, oh, I got it. Sifu said this and wow, right. I was there.
What a great question, Jade. What a great question. So, you have the feeling, right? It's realized in everyone's different perception of their reality, but in essence, the main chord of universal acceptance is the feeling. And everyone's had it before, the shiver up the spine. And I mean, energy, frequency, vibration, spirits have different coding, different signaling, different frequencies. So it will be measured by you as the tuning fork in different ways, shapes, and forms: hot and cold, pressure, tingling, heat, chills, all over body realization of energy. But most importantly is realizing that it is taking place, and that will be validated by you, the person having the experience. And that's why we refer to the humanist, the understanding that this physical body has the neural network that can basically, like a tuning fork, give you the experience to validate it as real. That's why it's so powerful when you look at the Way 126. What it does is a visual, audible experience creating the kinesthetic response. And that's the validator. That's the realization. And once you feel it, you're in the frequency, the gamma frequency, theta frequency. You are realized in that high level of consciousness, the 5D as we speak on. And so when Jade says, well, how do they know? Well, one of the most common denominators that have been validated for most people is what is the basically the sum of everything that happens to you in your life. It's a thought, feeling, and an emotion. And so when those things take place, they transpire, you have a cluster of wave to matter to particle. This is realized into a energetic alchemy that ripples through from your projector, creating from the pituitary gland and the pineal gland and the thalamus is the fun factory, is where you realize these chemicals that are realized into dopamine, oxytocin, adrenaline. All these things are being generated from a thought, feeling, and an emotion, right?
Is that like that, like perfect moment or like perfect day? Or like, for an athlete, it's like, oh, that was the game of my life. I, play all these games all day long, but that one, everything was just perfect. I got the ball. I did the touchdown. I scored the goal. I did the free throw. I had, my career highest points scored. It's that perfect moment.
It's a perfect moment, but on a greater scale. When you realize the interconnection between the sun and the earth, and the sun's rays that are projected down upon the earth's field, and within the core of the earth is this incredible magnetism that is realized, and it's projecting a magnetic field around the earth. Now, we've known this for thousands of years as Taoists, but once again, someone discovered it. Whoa, big brain on Brad. And so, when we speak of the black hole energy, zero point energy, right? You need to understand that when I talk about the black hole energy being abundant, timeless, endless, limitless, infinite, and you are looking at the stillness within the storm, this is not just a characterization of what I would hope you want it to be. That's the absolute definition of what we are realizing as Wu Ji, which is the stillness between yin and yang. And so to visually generate what is necessary for you to realize this, understand this. So when you have the truth teller, which is here, the heart, this is the magnet to your reality, right? So we don't reference the middle dantian, the heart, the physical heart, as the earth for no reason. Because when the sun is shooting down its rays upon the earth, the only differentiator between us being a scorched piece of dust and absorbing the rays of the sun and translating that and transmuting that into a nourishing energy, frequency, vibration is the magnetism of the earth. So, in essence, what's happening is, if you look at this mic, that's the human being. The singular is here, the heart. It is projecting a magnetic transmission, which is what you would call your auric field, and it is circulating like this, and you can take it in each direction, and it encompasses the whole diameter of the physical body, so that this magnetic transmission, this magnetic field, is being projected clockwise and counterclockwise into the core of what we call the center of the black hole. That's the singular. That's the Wu Ji. And within that is the stillness. Within that is the oneness. Within that is the ultimate consciousness and realization. When that is triggered, you create a coherence. The coherence is what we realize as a frequency. That frequency is then mimicked within the sun, which is the brain, and then that is realized, and using these neurons is then sending a signal down your parasympathetic nervous system to the gut, which is the moon, and that's realized as the transmitter, which is the combination of yin and yang energy as one. So you're taking electrical, magnetic being the heart, electricity being the brain, and you're realizing it within the gut as one whole. So we've moved beyond yin and yang to consciousness, everything at once, as a whole. And so this realization is this circulation of magnetic energy that encapsulates the whole physical body. So this is going on around your whole body, creating the auric field. You're basically the magnetic field that is surrounding you, that has been measured, that several institutions have measured over the last 20 or 30 years. So Taoists have been drawing this circular energy in and out of the physical body within ancient rituals for thousands of years. And does it blow my mind? Does it get me very excited when someone can realize it within something that they may define as this new age language called physics? Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, it does. It does. There's no question about it. Now, this is realized as the infinite, abundant, timeless, endless, limitless source of energy, the 0-point energy we speak on, which is the field, that is the oneness, that is everything. Now, the question really is, okay, well, why isn't everyone hooking up to this stuff if it's going on all day, every day? Because you've been separated from this through the expansion and the hubris, or moreover the diabolical design of human beings and their need to control and manipulate everything. In the last 100 years, you've been separated from that. These indigenous ancient practices, we have been sharing this stuff for thousands of years, handing down from one generation to another. This is realized within our text, within our scripture, within all the ancient practices that we've been handing down from one generation to another, which Jade and I have access to thousands of them, because that's what Taoist practices. That's our bag, baby. That's our main staple of understanding, is our infinite relationship, our affinity with the universe as we know it. It is our best friend. It is our family. It is our oneness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby. Know that to be true.
Yeah, well, I think like ever since, as incredible as technology and, the Industrial Revolution, electricity has, but given us so many steps to move forward on that aspect, it's also separated us a lot, because before, it's like lights and stuff, it's like you would wake up when the sun came up, you'd go to sleep when the sun went down.
Basic circadian rhythm of being on planet Earth.
Exactly. You were very connected with the earth. You ate the foods that were harvested in the wintertime. You ate the foods that were harvested in the summertime. You didn't have the kind of conveniences that we have nowadays that definitely help and make our life so much easier, but do kind of create that disconnect and that separation that you talk about between us and the universe, us and the earth, us and the rhythms of the universe, the natural cycles of the earth moving around, all the lunar cycles, all of these things that were so relevant maybe 200, 250, 300 years ago. Everything went off, the sun and the moon. That was how they lived their life. They told time. They, basically interacted, was all based off of that and that connection.
Yeah. So, so we're talking about this magnetic field that's being generated from you, the core, the singular, the truth teller, that you have possession of, the most ancient high-tech tool, the most high-tech tool to exist on planet Earth. Don't, think you want to trade it in for the latest version of some type of brand named computer or some AI product, because it ain't got nothing on what you already have possession of. So you have this magnetic frequency that's being projected from your truth teller that basically realizes these energies. And so when we talk about the sun and the earth, the sun is projecting these waves of light. There's a spectrum of light waves that are being projected, being created, pouring down upon the earth, and this magnetic field that we are creating within Taoist practices, that is part of the steps of what we have identified, or what some people have identified as the realization of the rainbow body. And that deep epicenter, when you look at a rainbow, what's the center of the rainbow is that beautiful emerald pinky green color, which is what Hindus would call the fourth chakra, what the Taoists call the fifth energy center, moreover the middle dantian. And this is realized as the be-all and end-all to all things. This is the shiznit. This is what makes everything go round. And so you have this truth teller using this neural network. And just as Jade was talking about, it's like, well, what's that realization? Well, when you are synchronizing, there is a frequency that is created. And this is not a hypothesis, anecdotal, some type of theory that we're talking about. It is being measured. Now, Taoists have known about this forever. When the Yellow Emperor discovered his affinity with the universe almost 10,000 years ago, and he was drawn to the earth with his truth teller, and we've gone briefly over the story. We'll go more over it. We'll actually interview him real time at one point, and we'll talk to him about the power of what this is. But the magnetism of his heart drew him, literally pulled him to the floor of the earth. And he laid there for 18 days and nights as he was being, rewired and in tuned with all the frequencies of the universe as they were being realized within his physical body. As you understand, when you become one with all, you either feel the field is you, everything gets real fast. Because now you're entering what we call this 5D reality, which makes everything pliable. You can create, you can manifest, you can heal from this level of consciousness. And so the feeling is absolutely the only thing you need to be concerned with. That is your truth to everything. And so that frequency that's generated between the earth and the sun, the heart and the brain, then is realized within the gut, which is the culmination of yin and yang energy realized as one. That is the go time. That is a frequency of 0.1 hertz. When that is realized, that is the frequency that the Earth's field runs at. What are the chances of that, Sifu? So when you have the Shazam moment, synchronizing the sensor neurons within your heart, the sensor neurons within your brain, creating the gut feeling, it's go time. That coherence. Now, what's a faster way to realize that coherence? Because everything is a thought, feeling, and emotion, those things take place by what moves you more than anything? Your emotions. Because they evoke a feeling. Really, Sifu? Are you kidding me? I've never heard this before. Yeah. So, if you want to realize that frequency instantly, that 0.1 hertz, evoke love, gratitude, appreciation. Now, the biggest misconception is that people kickstart that stuff, and I always talk about, do you want to, become grateful, because people have what they consider first world problems. And I like to reference that. My personality goes to it. Anytime you have a first world problems and you're not realized the true magnitude of humanness, the human being, this vehicle, this tuning fork, this very realization of a thought, feeling, and emotion that is manifested into flesh and blood before your very eyes, this wave to matter to particle experience that is the tuning fork of your realization, and you feel like you're a little lost, that things are too easy, go to a door frame, put your hand in it and close the door on it. And then all of a sudden you'll have other problems other than whether you didn't get enough likes on Instagram or, I shouldn't have used that, social media. It will become realized very quickly. And people kind of laugh. Well, guess what? It's a feeling. Once again, you have a feeling. So this 0.1 hertz frequency is a beginning, a starting point. Now, the mastery is the 50 trillion cells, 50 trillion atoms within each cell, realized within the culture medium that is your blood, that creates the tidal wave, which is more realized as that 0 point energy, which is in every center of every nucleus of everything. A photon all the way up to a cell into this flesh and blood. The interconnection is nothing more than a thought away. So your separation, what I keep talking about, what Jade and I keep talking about, is you being separated. You're thinking, not knowing. You're in your head. You have this, you've been sold on the idea that you have thoughts of your own. That is a fallacy. And the sooner you realize that, the aha moment will take place.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how people feel so refreshed when they go like camping or hiking or to the beach or anywhere where they kind of connect with nature again. They go on these vacations, I went and just relaxed, and it's like, you think about it, and you and I could sit here at our house or wherever in the office, and like your mind is just racing. Whoa, what do I got to do next? Who do I got to email? Who do I got to contact? Who do I have to call? What do I have to do? You know what I mean?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And then it's like, when you get in nature, how come you can sit in front of a fire or the ocean for an hour and you're like, the person next to you is like, hey, what are you thinking about? And you're like, I don't know. Nothing. I'm not even thinking. I'm just literally sitting here feeling. I'm staring at the stars. I'm just being. Mm-hmm. And it's like that connection with it. Whereas like, you go back home and you're like, how come I can't replicate this? When I'm looking in a room and seeing 50,000 things that need to get done and all these other things, it's like we get separated from that pretty easily.
And the truth is you can replicate it, and that's where we're going today.
Yeah.
Is that understanding of how powerful you can instantly access source, which changes the state you're in. Mm-hmm. And that's why we always refer to the way 126, because that is an instant realization of a thought, feeling, and emotion realized through visual audible experience, creating a kinesthetic response. That is the go time that creates the brainwave frequencies that make you realized as the field. The field is you, you are the field. And so you have the separator, as Jade referenced just before. Just as, we talk about within the epigenetic model, you are a product of your environment, your thoughts. You can change your reality with your thoughts alone. You can switch on and off your gene expression with your thoughts alone. Understanding the realization that your brain doesn't know the difference between something that is created within your consciousness or something that is realized within this 3D reality. Mm-hmm. So how quickly you evoke a thought, feeling, and emotion, creating that alchemical response within the pineal, pituitary, and thalamus, the fun factory that is realized within the chemistry, rippling down into evoking the expression of genes, turning them on and off. Now realize this, know this to be true, that you are able to create and manufacture anything you want, whenever you want, however you want, with your intention, with a realization. power up. And that's where Jade speaks on, go out into, nature, experience things, just sit with your family at the beach, because this is the rippling effect of this, again, truth teller being magnetized with another truth teller, being magnetized with another truth teller, and the field is rippling. The magnetism of you collectively as a singular, as a oneness, is being manifested into this incredible pull. And so, of course, your thought, feeling, and emotion is rippling out into their neural network, creating that from the 0 point energy, because everything is interconnected. And that realization can come in the form of a feeling. You may be, oh, well, I don't think it. No, you feel it. You don't think anything. You think nothing.
That's the whole point.
That is the whole point, because
you're not
that's
thinking.
the misconception. That's when you are, as you would put it, the old expression, you're in your head. You want to be in your heart always, always. That is your realization. Beginning and end. Never to be replicated, never to be deviated, never to be manipulated. It will always give you the truth, 1000% accurate. And so this neural network that we talk about, and this singular magnetic pull, is what takes place with the earth. When the sun shines its rays down upon the earth, the magnetic field that is generated from the center of the earth is what protects us, what transmutes that incredible gift of the Tao, the rays of the sun, which is a frequency, a spectrum of light that is transmuted into anything and everything that we have realized. But moreover, the center of it, which is the epicenter of the rainbow, which is the heart.
Yeah. And I feel like it's, at least for me personally, it's like a spectrum. Like once you...
Well, it is a spectrum.
Yeah. And once you kind of like, and most people probably start on the more the separated side. Like I'm 5% connected, 95% disconnected. And then when you start kind of going through these different practices or being coherent or finding that thing that just makes you feel so good, whole, whether it's helping people or getting married or being a mom or having kids or pets or something, it starts to shift. So now you're maybe 25% connected, 75% disconnected. And then you find something else that you really love. Oh, I love volunteering. I love traveling. I love hiking. I love, doing something. And then it starts to move a little bit more. And then you kind of get to a point where you are so coherent and connected that you don't even, it's just always on, that you feel it when you feel like the negative versus the positive, because you're always on. So it's like, I know I'm 95% connected, because when I do have those moments where I'm 5%, where, I'm away from my kids or I'm doing something, that's where you're like, this doesn't feel right. I know when I'm on all the time, because I always feel it. So when I'm in this situation where, I don't feel like giving, or I'm being maybe a little more my personality self, you're like, ooh, no, that doesn't feel right. And it does. It kind of starts to shift to that where you're not even thinking about it anymore. Your life is just one big happy coherence of synchronicity flowing through you.
Mm-hmm. And that is really the powerful part, the realization, is knowing that and be very clear, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, measurement of consciousness is interpreted by you, the individual. Your truth is the only truth you need to be concerned about. That is the truth. And so anyone that can tell you, hey, your consciousness is measured by this, no. That is all-knowing. That is the truth to everything. And when you hook up to that 0 point energy, then you're realized, right? And so that coherence, quickly noted through an emotional state, can be realized. And then, of course, synchronizing the neural network within the heart, brain, and the gut, you get the gut feeling. And that is all powerful. Understanding that magnetic field is operating clockwise and counterclockwise, and that can be controlled by your attention intention. When you master the 50 trillion cells, you master it all. You are. Who is the master? You're the master, keeper, creator of your reality when that is realized. And that's why we constantly reiterate over and over again how important the feeling is, the most important thing, because that is when you are able to accept where you're at on a frequency level, which puts you in the field. And you will start to realize it because, as Jade said, that moment, an athlete has something, an artist has something, something that makes you feel good. We've spoken on it when it comes to manifestation. When you get the peak ebb and flow of the universe, the universe is pulsating at all times. Everything is interconnected. That means that it's all happening like this. Everything is dynamic. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is separated. Everything is interconnected. The entanglement is what we speak of. So your separation is nothing more than a mind trick. And that comes from the last, at least realized, couple of 100 years, where human beings are diabolical. They understand this. So what better way than to basically take away the power of an individual by making them think they are separate? Mm-hmm. Oh, mic drop on that one.
They need someone else to tell them.
They need someone else in a white coat,
and
they need someone else who's an authoritarian that is a specialist in one little myopic component to a bigger picture. I mean, it's almost comical when you say, I'm a heart surgeon, I'm a brain surgeon, I'm a this surgeon, I'm a that surgeon, I'm a bap surgeon. It doesn't really matter. You are separated. You are compartmentalized. You are not whole. You are not knowing. And so you are always given that opportunity to realize that. And when you do, the need for someone else to tell you what you can get direct source from here, is not necessary, because nothing is more powerful than pure source information, pure source energy. And once you obtain it, you cannot unsee what you have already seen. That power is second to none. So when someone goes, hey, look, we've got quantum physics, it's a computer, it's the internet, it's a cell phone. These are all, archaic in really, troglodyte in comparison to the power that you have possession of right now. And so your ability to switch on and off your gene expression, giving you instant access to pure source information, that magnetic field that is constantly being generated from your truth teller, that's realized within an auric field that is transmitted in comparison to basically an infinite amount. And that's realized when the first time you ever do a distance healing. I can do a distance healing I could be here and I could be someone could be on the other side of the world, and I can affect the physiology of that person through a phone, not even through a phone. I don't even have to talk to them. And the power of being all-knowing when you are the field is you just know. You don't have to tap on your shoulder and go, hey, field, do you think you got some time? You're talking to yourself. Come on, guys. That consciousness is all-knowing. And when that is realized, anything is possible. And you will replicate it, you will realize it, because your attention, intention, instantly realized, mastering and being the maestro of this 50 trillion cells, this flesh and blood in front of you that is realized by the ebb and flow of the 0 point energy that is the field that is being created with a thought, feeling, and emotion, evoking the alchemical response of the three treasures, the pineal, pituitary, and thalamus, that creates this chemistry that has a rippling effect that dictates the inner workings of your hormonal response, switching on and off genes with your attention intention as you are consciousness, as you are the field, magical things start to take place.
Yeah, you went over a little bit of like the heart and the certain colors that in relation to that, like what are the colors or different things for like the brain and the gut? Because I think that people feel very connected to that.
Right. So the inner workings of any Taoist alchemy, any Taoist magic, any Taoist manifestation, any infrastructure when it comes to Taoist ancient rituals, colors are the epicenter of all that. And you realize that in the imagery that is stimulated when you evoke your pineal gland, you will oscillate these crystals in the pineal gland that create this kaleidoscope type of experience. So as you develop your sensory perception and you are on the road to realizing your clairvoyant senses, you will get random colors or images that will be created in your third eye. For example, myself, I see everything with my eyes open, as I do now. Everything has an aura color. There are, probably close to 20 different spirits in this room right now that are being realized, that are taking up the space that doesn't exist. And this is as clear and as vivid as I see Jade here in the room.
Our live audience.
Right. Our live audience. And so the biggest one, the sun, is polarizing, and it is a phosphorus gold to white light. The earth is magnetized between green, pink, and red. And then the moon is an electric blue-black color. Now, these are three major colors with frequencies, and you can feel it as I'm speaking on it. You're like, whoa. These are realized instantaneously. So these are the three major colors that you need to work with when you are synchronizing, creating that coherence. Again, this all starts from here. The mastery comes with the feeling. The feeling is realized through your experience. The validation is you. You are the tuning fork of your reality. And that's why it's always good to use a method, like the method that we have integrated into the Way 126. It is instantaneous. And you just ramp up. You create amplitude as those energy centers are turned on. And you will realize your consciousness ramping up, and the spectrum of brain waves that are created anywhere from epsilon all the way up to gamma, higher, hyper gamma, lambda. I mean, it just keeps going on. I mean, honestly, the frequency, the hertz frequency that's generated is so high that they don't even have names for them. They're just pulling them out of their ass. And it doesn't really matter. I know I ramp and amplified tunes anywhere from 200 plus, and I'm getting direct source information, and that's, I churn and burn, baby. Oh yeah. And so, what before most of this information was being revealed in the last 20 years, there was the idea that maybe 1 or 2% of the population would be able to gain a gamma frequency, hertz frequency of 20 to 40 hertz, perhaps, maybe. That was sort of like speculative, just with general research and understanding of the neural network, the brain, heart, and gut realization. But now all bets are off, 100, 200, 400. I mean, there is no end. And just as you hit a peak, you go to higher. And this is the humanist that we talk about. This is what we are realizing. This is what we're referencing to, because we have not even scratched the surface in that realization. And so when you're able to put 2 and 2 together, which makes 4 or 6, or was it 9? I don't know. This is where the power starts and ends. And so, synchronizing the brain, heart, and the gut is big time. And we'll do that here today. Oh, yeah. And, the beautiful part is I talk about it, and they go, here it goes again. Sifu is putting it out there. Why am I feeling this? This is kind of weird. I've been doing this a long time, for many lifetimes before this. And so, did that help answer that question, Jade, of the colors that you were talking about?
Yeah.
And then that synchronizing the 0.1 hertz frequency that's realized between the earth and the universe, you being the synchronizer, right? So it kind of goes like this, and this is what I find really funny, is because there was a lot of people that talk about the angel numbers of 1111, and I've spoken of this before, but let me just say it again. Think about this. The earth is 0.1. The heart is 0.1. The brain is 0.1. The universe is 0.1. What are the chances of that being the 4 ones that are in the angel frequencies that people speak of, the angel numbers that people constantly talk about? If you see that, that's a sign. That is a sign. I can tell you for faux show it's a sign. And it's realized within that coherence that you have between the earth and the universe, realizing that you are all of the above. Synchronized, Shazam time, all is one, one is all. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's the angel numbers that they're speaking of in relation to my observation and realization of those frequencies, that it makes a lot of sense to me, because it's on like Donkey Kong. So that magnetic field, the connection, brain, heart, and gut, the replicating effects of a black hole, the singular, the stillness in the storm, where the energy is circulating. Remember, the magnetic field is circulating around you constantly. And then when you create a rippling effect, which is, oh my goodness, as you feel that, as it moves around you clockwise or counterclockwise, this magnetic field, it is realized instantaneously, blammo, you have the Wu Ji, which is the oneness between the yin and yang. Right here, right now. And so I'm going to make it real simple. Is there anything else you'd like to speak on, Jade?
Before you knock me out.
Yes.
No, just getting back to, like, how do you know if you're feeling it? This really was one of the purposes that we did create the 126 app, is it does take a lot of the thinking out of it, and the kind of unsure self-doubt. Am I doing this right? Am I feeling this right? Should I be feeling this? Is this too much? Is this too less? What should I do? It's like once you turn it on for the very first time and you feel it, you go, oh, okay, got it.
I'm home.
I'm home. I feel it. It's there. I'm no longer thinking. I'm just
feeling,
knowing,
which is knowing
within it. And that was definitely a huge component. So if you are feeling like, or thinking, I should say, am I doing this right? Am I connected? Am I coherent? Am I synchronized? What's going on? Do the 126 app, feel it, and you will get that validation instantly.
But it's also being able to measure it. And I speak on this. And it's an Easter egg that comes with the subscription. Go subscribe to it, and you'll be able to validate and measure your progression on a daily basis as to how powerful you are. So this is not something that, hey, go away and do 27 minutes a day for 9 weeks and hopefully you'll come out with some type of skill. No, your mastery is realized on a daily basis. You're able to measure your own skill set, your own amplitude of the energy with this Easter egg. Be very clear. You get to test it every single day. Every second that you spend on this is utilized. Not a second is wasted. Your 27 minutes equalizes to 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of meditation, 8 hours of relaxation. And you do that every day. So it amplifies itself from week to week as you open up another energy center. You are realized. Ultimately, in the end, you open up the first energy centers between the earth and the universe, which is the oneness that is that 0.1 hertz. It's being replicated, realized on a daily basis, and then you're able to change your state at will. You. You'd get to do it. And you get to show yourself. You can pivot and switch gears, and you master that neurology. You master those 50 trillion cells at will. That energy's moving any which way you want with your attention, intention, realizing that, mimicking that instantaneously, creating the alchemy of whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did it this morning. No, I did. I was like laying in bed and I was thinking, I was starting to kind of wake up and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to do the app, and my phone was on the charger. So I had to like get up to go and get it. It wasn't, I know. So there was like 5 minutes where I literally just laid there and I was just thinking about it. And I was like, oh, I really want to get up. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm feeling pretty relaxed. Should I get, because I just thought like, okay, I got to do it and I'm going to go get my phone. And then I was like, I was already feeling it. I ended up getting up and getting my phone, but it was fun. I mean, we do it so often. I don't really like sit there and
you don't have to. I mean,
yeah, but I don't test it because we live it all the time. But I did for a minute, just kind of. I was just laying there and I had my eyes closed and I was just thinking about it, and I instantly felt it, and I went, do I really need to go get my phone? Do I really need to turn it on? Because I was there.
And that's the power of what you're mastering.
Yeah.
And the end result, if you just do the first level of the app, and there's 9 levels, there's almost 2 years worth of material. The first level will be mastery. For 99% of people will be blown away with their ability to master the state they're in at will. And that's just the first 9 weeks. And your measurement is it becomes more concentrated. So the amplitude and the concentration of the energy becomes more realized, that is palpable. And by the end of it is so powerful, so strong. When you put your intention to moving the energy, it's literally, it's realized as this palpable energy that it's like putting your fingers in Play-Doh. That's how thick it becomes. And that's that interconnection that's created, but it's concentrated. So what you have put into mastering yourself every day for 27 minutes a day becomes realized in seconds. And so the concentration becomes stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and more laser focused. That's part of the mastery of Qigong, is being able to put your attention, intention, moving energy with your mind, and being able to amplify it in 1 way, 10 ways, 100 ways, all equally at once realized. Oh, yeah. Right. So, as I spoke on it before, working with the earth, moon, and the sun, upper, middle, and lower dantian, just as I speak on it, you can feel it reverberating, oscillating, pulsating, elevating. Oh my goodness, I'm getting butterflies. Oh, it's just jade. But in any case, understanding that the honeymoon is never over. And that neural network is realizing, or anything that you do to create this incredible pathway is instantaneous. And so we're going to have you follow my lead, and we're going to tune up all three of these dantians right here, right now, realized. So just before we do, I'll have my divine delectable co-host with any closing words or statements or any observations that she would like to share with the audience. Please do.
Yeah, no, it is. It's all about that feeling, and when you experience it, there's nothing better, and all you want to do is stay in it all day long. And most people, when they get it, they do stay in it all day long.
And you don't have to want it. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know it to be real. You know it to be true.
Yeah.
So, with that, I will have this incredible, amazing audience that is realized with this experience, as we've already amped up these three energy centers just through my attention, intention, and being the Sifu, and having done this for many lifetimes beforehand. You are realizing that tuning, that power that comes with it just from me talking about it. So, we can wind you down, get you to close one of your senses off, and you immerse yourself in that. And this will be completely two components, Nigong and Qigong. And we're going to start with the first realization, which is the upper dantian, which is the sun. And all I'm going to get you to do, and you will, this is the part that everyone will trip out about, and that's right, hold the phones, because I've spoken on it. When I ask you to breathe and use the respiration, drawing the energy into your upper dantian, you'll realize it with a color, and the color will be that golden phosphorus white color. And so all I'm going to get you to do is breathe in and out 3 times, following my lead, and at the last one, hold it, and I'm going to count down for 9, and that will activate the upper dantian. Are we ready? Follow my lead. So you're going to breathe in and out. Just follow my lead. Last one, hold. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Now I'm going to turn that energy up a little bit, so you're going to feel a lot more density. And as you realize, that density is coming on in the feeling of a bobblehead. Very good. Excellent. That's so nice to be high on your own supply. So now we're going to direct our attention to our middle dantian, which will have the same respiration. So you're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, then hold. And I'm going to count down from 9. Follow my lead. Hold. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to turn that up like dough. Like pizza dough. I'm going to turn that up. There we go. Wow. Isn't that interesting how heavy your heart is? All that color is realized. Oh, yeah. Now we're going to take the power of the sun and the earth, and we're going to inhale, exhale into our lower dantian and watch that bad boy go off like the 4th of July. Follow my lead. Inhale. Hold it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. I'm going to turn that up. It's like a little washing machine going on there, because that lower dantian is literally like the magic maker. That's where the magic comes from. That's where the energy comes from. That is realized, the yin and yang. And relax. Oh, yeah. Now just bathe in that realization, that activation of those 3 energy centers. And they are separate but are collective. And it's interesting how if you take a second to absorb the sensory perception that you have received from that, how crazy that is. And it is crazy. So Now your respiration is going to just amplify all three of those as they are activated. And so just you normal breath in and breath out without anything. You don't have to put your mind to anything. You will start to feel the density of those energies realized. And they will become more and more merged the more you breathe. And if anyone's watching the camera, they can see that Jade is moving with the energy. So her head is moving with the energy that is basically the singular, the oneness. This is a circular oscillation that is taking place, that's going on in the center of her magnet, her earth. And this is going from top to bottom. And you will come to that realization that you're having that, what could be perceived as a neurological response to it, but it is actually realized. This is energy, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies. And so that fashion that she's circulating in is the moving of the magnetism that is within the epicenter of her singular, that is the black hole energy, right here, right now, blammo. And and if I just take a second and I'll show you where I'm moving. And it only takes a second for you to realize this, guys. And it's right there. Oh my goodness. Whoa. And on that note, I want to thank my divine delectable co-host, as she is in her frequency, her source energy right now, as are you. I want you guys to just, if you're hearing my voice in the background, continue as you are. Allow your unconscious and conscious merge and bring you back to the consciousness of the room at your own pace. And as you are realized, as I am, and I am replicating, duplicating, oscillating, reverberating, pulsating, the frequency, vibration, and energy that is who I really am, the source energy, the 0 point energy, the oneness that is the field. I am the field. Woo! I will say to you, I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn, and I will see you on the next one, guys.